everyone, so today I wanted to share my thoughts on the book The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. This book came out January 15th of this year, and I received this copy in an Owl Crate box that I received for free because I'm an Owl Crate rep and I unbox their boxes every month. So I'll leave a link below to my video where I unboxed the one including this book so that you can go see all of the really fun, beautiful items that were included in that box. And I also did a video that was like a get ready with me chit chat inspired by this book, so I'll leave that link below as well. I feel like so many people have been talking about this book at the beginning of this year, including myself, and I think it totally deserves it. I really love this book. I ended up giving this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was so good for so many reasons. I'm gonna try to give a synopsis of it, but it's a little complex and I went into it pretty blind, and I feel like that was a good way to get into it, so I'm gonna try not to give too many details. I want this video to be completely spoiler free. The setting is 1889 in Paris, and it's a fantasy story, so it's definitely like an alternate history. There's this kind of magic that the whole world is like based around, and it's really complicated, so I'm not gonna get into it, but yes, there's magic, and there's a gang of characters that are set on a mission to capture a hidden artifact, and this becomes a really perilous journey, but this artifact has a lot of power, so it's really important that they get it. It's very high stakes, and there are secret societies and people that have some really evil motivations, so there is a lot going on in this story, but I feel like that's like the best way I can explain it. I don't know, I hope that's okay. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about are the characters. I feel like they are the shining stars of this story. The world is beautiful, yes, but the characters to me just came off of the page. They felt very real. Each character had their own beautiful personality with their own differences and things that made them unique, and I really appreciated the detail that Roshani went into for all of the characters and how well she developed them and their relationships and their backstories and everything that like made each of them a unique individual. Within these characters, there's a lot of different kinds of representation from various ethnicities and sexualities, and one of the characters is autistic, and I just felt that they were all so beautifully done. I grew to love each one of them, and there is a romance in this story. It's very slow and tense, and the scenes where the two characters are together are just like really emotionally charged. Oh my goodness, like it was almost frustrating at times how slow it was. I just really wanted them to kiss and get over it, but there's so many other things going on that are keeping them apart and reasons why they can't be together, and they have history. But not only is there the romance, there are great relationships between all of the characters because it's kind of like a band of misfits, but they all care for each other in different ways. Seeing them work together and overcome obstacles and how their relationships are changed and affected by that was a really fun part of the story and one of my favorite parts. I really loved how vibrant the story was with the world and the settings. All of like the food and clothing descriptions were awesome, and it just really made the story come to life and just feel so colorful and lush and just really beautiful. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I loved all of like the magic and technology descriptions. However, the world building was a little shaky for me at times. I felt it was kind of hard to get through, and I got a little confused and a little lost. It was sometimes, especially in like action scenes, it was hard for me to like play it in my head like a movie, you know? I was reading it, but I couldn't really see it, if that makes sense. Like, I loved the descriptions of the settings, but as far as the world building with the magic system and the history and the societies and the order, I was just a little lost at times. And then like I said, the descriptions of some like the action scenes and the different like tools and technologies and magic they were using was a little hard for me to picture. That's pretty much why I couldn't give it a full 5 stars, but for me it didn't really take away from my emotions, and it didn't really take away from my connection to the story because the characters were so strongly written. It was just kind of the pacing and the flow became a little jerky for me, and I didn't really read it quickly, I guess, because of that. But towards the end, Everything got so exciting. The plot line, like in the storyline, went a little further than I was expecting. I thought it was going to end sooner, but I loved that because we got to kind of see the fallout of how it ended. And let me just say, if you're going to read this book, you might want to wait till closer when the sequel comes out. I'm trying not to spoil anything, and to me this is not considered a spoiler, but it is kind of a cliffhanger in a way. Things are wrapped up to where you're satisfied, but then it leaves it open enough for the sequel. But I just wanted the sequel right then and there when I finished it, and I hate that I'm gonna have to wait until next year to get it. So that's just a tip if you do plan on reading this book and you don't like, you know, small cliffhangers. So yeah, I think I've rambled about this book enough. Like I said, I really loved it. The world building and the writing got a little strange for me, and I remember kind of feeling that way about the Star-Touched Queen as well. So maybe it's just something with Roshani's writing that I don't totally click with, but overall it didn't take away from my love of the story and the characters. And I just need to know what happens next. So definitely let me know in the comments if you've read this book and what you thought of it, if you agree with any of my points, or if there's anything that you want to mention as well. I'd love to talk about it. And if you want to talk about spoilers, you can. Just give a warning in your comment that you are going to talk about spoilers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.